Good evening. So, I have a couple of interesting updates to give you on the situation going on in Gaza. So, as you know, Israel has been doing a lot of heavy bombardment. They have been doing some ground operations, and they have, as you I'm sure already know, they've cut everything out from getting in, whether that be fuel. There's very, very little medical or food or any type of humanitarian assistance getting in. And they have obviously no power. They have no connection to the outside world. Israel has made sure to cut all of that off. So the problem is the UN and I believe the WHO and other organizations have individuals that are there right now that they have lost contact with. They don't know their well being, they don't know nothing. And so Elon Musk has decided to step up and try to help that particular situation a little bit. So let me read you this article. Of course, I'll leave you the link to both of them down in the description below and in the first comment. So let me bring you the first one here. It says Musk to provide Starlink access to Gaza. And to go in a little better detail, it says tech billionaire Elon Musk has said that he will provide satellite internet access to internationally recognized aid organizations in Gaza via his Starlink network. Phone and internet lines went down in the enclave after a heavy Israeli bombardment on Friday. Musk made his announcement on X on Saturday, stating that SpaceX's Starlink division would support connectivity with the besieged Strip. There are apparently a number of Starlink terminals in Gaza, but in a separate post on Saturday, Musk said that none of these devices had attempted to communicate with the satellite network. It is not clear who has authority for ground links in Gaza, but do we know that no terminal has requested a connection in that area? He wrote on X. So uh, he's basically trying to get a connection with humanitarian services and whatnot in the area. He's not talking about giving Hamas an internet connection. That's not even remotely what Elon Musk is saying. However, there is a backlash already from this, and it did not take long. Israel threatens to destroy Musk's Starlink. Wow. So this goes on to say Israeli Communications Minister, I believe that's Shlomo Kari, has vowed that Israel will use all means at its disposal to fight SpaceX CEO Elon Musk's planned provision of Starlink internet access to Gaza. Hamas will use it for terrorist activities, Kari claimed on a post on X, adding that there is no doubt about it. We know it, and Musk knows it. In response, the tech billionaire said he is not so naive, explaining how the proposed scheme would work, while promising to do a security check with both the U.S. and Israeli governments before turning on even a single terminal. Per my post, no Starlink terminal has attempted to connect from Gaza. If one does, we will take extraordinary measures to confirm that it is used only for purely humanitarian reasons, Musk said. Earlier on Saturday, Musk said that he would open up the Starlink satellite network to internationally recognized aid organizations working in Gaza after a wave of Israeli airstrikes severed the enclave's last phone and internet connections with the outside world. And then it just goes back into the history of all of that going on. And then it talks about this being the second time that Musk has deployed Starlink to a combat zone, the other obviously being Ukraine. So, very interesting developments here. It's going to be even more interesting to see how this particular thing plays out. Folks, I really, if there's any conflict to cause me concern, to cause me alarm, to think that we're probably not going to just bounce back away from this, it's this situation in the Middle East. You know, Israel is taking the attitude that everything that's gone on is unprovoked and all that stuff. And I'm not picking a side. I'm looking at it and going, wait a minute here. You've got people that have lived on land for generations. Okay? Imagine this. Put yourself in these shoes, right? Imagine living on land for generations, been in your family for generations. And because of a decision made by a bunch of people completely unrelated to you, all of a sudden it's no longer your property. Now, it's awful easy to just throw statements, to throw support behind one or the other. But to say that this is unprovoked, nah, this has been being provoked since even before 1948. Look, the righteous choice is not to be involved on either side. That's the only righteous choice. But if I take a fair and equal look at the situation, I cannot see anything other than two groups of people. Some of them just want to live and try to make life the best of life that they can, and others want to try to dominate and completely take over and obliterate the other. Okay? Both the ideologies on both sides, both, and I'm going to just say it, both the Zionists and both Hamas are wrong, are unrighteous. I don't know, I don't understand how anybody on the planet cannot understand that. It's not about who you were traditionally taught to stand behind, because believe it or not, probably 80-90% of the support that Israel gets from the United States, as far as, support just from the people backing them, just in spirit or however, is because they've been traditionally taught to. Okay? But try to have a conversation with people in the U.S. about Israel and Judaism, and the fact that Judaism doesn't recognize, and I'm talking Christians, discussing this with Christians, Judaism doesn't recognize their Savior, their Messiah. They say he was a fake, right? And they even voted to have him killed, right? When are we going to wake up from this fog? Because that's all I can see out there is fog. It makes no sense to me. Neither side that is fighting right now is righteous. Neither one. Neither one. If you want to find righteousness, look for the people on both sides that's protesting the violence. Both sides. That's where you'll find your righteousness, not in a war zone. Shalom.